comes alive. Okay, so Vaheguru Ji ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji ki Fateh. So I think a few months ago, well, maybe a month ago or so, we were indicating that there are planetary influences that begin to impact people's health. There are changes to do with just what the sun is doing, and you will have heard the genius plan from our glorious leaders that they will try and dim the sun. No, that's going to work out well, isn't it? Yeah, that's going to work out. So you can see that the change is now undeniable, right? The change is undeniable. And the change, as we said, by April, it'll become quite visible. And we're there now. We can see it in terms of health. Yeah. We can see in terms of the systems around us. We can see it in terms of just the nonsense going around the world, the geopolitics, all of that stuff. Now, in this space, coupled with, so it's like, it appears that if you were to go back 10 years, it appears we're in a different world. Even if we're in a different world, that reality is no longer the same reality. It's a different reality. And what's changed is, with that reality, what's changed is how we feel, where we are. This is then coupled with life events, um, losing jobs, losing friends, illnesses, whatever, just life events. This is then coupled with, added to by what's happening with the sun. Why are they so keen to block the sun? Why are they so keen? When has humanity ever needed to block the sun? And then, as we have spoken to you many times before, that our understanding of the way things are is just the way you've been told. That's it. You've been told, like before Galileo, people believed that the Earth, everything rotated around the Earth. So remember, he came up and he demonstrated that's not true. No, but things go the other way around as well. Or in fact, they do. And this reality changed everything. Yeah, this age of science, yeah, no longer believing in the God thing. And then we became very scientifically orientated that we needed to be in control, because that's what science is about. It's about learn how something works and then make it better. Yeah, use it to your advantage. Yeah, exploit it. Learn how something works and then exploit it. There's no other reason you learn about this. So that's the world that we live in, which is fine and it has a role. But what we're missing is what existence actually is. What's going on in the bigger picture. So to illustrate this point, and I'm going to kind of go into the health, why that's so valuable now for us to be one, to recognize what it is, recognize what damages our health, and what can we do to undo that or prevent that. So we need education. We need to learn this, right? It's no longer about I'm doing a little bit of meditation. It's no longer about that. It's no longer about that. It's about you taking some responsibility for your own health and well-being. There's the most valuable and priceless thing that you and I possess is one life, and the other is health. Irreplaceable. Health is irreplaceable. Life is irreplaceable. Everything else, to some degree, is replaceable. But these two things are. And what do we mean by health? What we mean by health is there's health to do with the mind first. And the health to do with the mind we need to first learn a little bit about what do we mean by the mind. Okay, otherwise you don't know what you mean by mental health. So your little voice that talks to you, your little inner space that talks to you, however many there are, or whether there's one, that little inner dialogue you have, we can say that that is the content of your mind. It's the content. But your mind is bigger than that, meaning that there is a listener because you know what you're saying to yourself. So there's a listening part of you and there is a content part of you. Yeah. This content part of you is what we affectionately call personality, character, ego, but it's manufactured. So what you're born with, it's manufactured by the language you have. This controls all the things around you. That's it. That's the bottom line. Unless you see this little lens that you're wearing, unless you don't see this, you will always interpret things through it. Now, the first thing is it's the disease of humanity. That is the disease. There's not a good ego, there's not a bad ego. Ego by default closes you to reality. So, meditation allows us to separate from that mental chatter, separate, or to create a different relationship to it. Through that separation, two things happen. One, your physical body begins to change. How does it change? Your blood pressure goes down, your heart rate goes down, your cortisols go down, your adrenaline goes down, your biomedic chemicals begin to change, your neurology, your actual brain pattern, wave. So brain waves are basically lots and lots of patterns happening together, synchronized. So when they synchronize, we can tell them it's a alpha wave or a beta wave, a delta wave or a gamma wave or a beta wave. And depending on that wave, it impacts your body. So by dissociating ourselves through meditation, we stop that, we switch that off. We switch the fight response system off. This creates a environment within the body that is more helpful, more healthy, but more importantly, it changes the way you feel. So your thoughts, your story, whatever your story is, will create the corresponding emotion. That's the bottom line. That's the bottom line. Whatever story you tell yourself. So the problem is, it's not the story that you tell yourself. It's how much you believe that creates then the emotional intensity. So I can tell myself a story that I'm going to fly to the moon. And it doesn't have the same intensity. But if I felt, I don't know, after taking some psychedelics or something like that, I felt I can fly to the moon, I would believe that. And I would, go and jump off or whatever. What I'm trying to demonstrate is it's the belief in your mental story that will create the corresponding stuff in your body. So in this process that we're in now, in this process, you will begin to feel that there are different ways it's impacting you. First, you're starting to question things. Things are being questioned. Everything's being questioned. You are starting to question what you're about, what life is about. These are deeper questions, nothing to do with what you're doing. It's the change we're in, this consciousness shift. It's going on, whether you want it or not, it's happening. Can't change it. And how is it happening? In terms of the brain and, well, you can't even say the brain because consciousness is not to do with the brain. But anyway, so you're in a soup. Let me give you another analogy. You're in a soup. We're all made out of soup, okay? Some of us are in that soup, but we are vibrating in a different way. But we're all in the same soup, made of the same soup. There are particles of the soup that are got together and there's solid parts, and there are other bits of the soup that's a bit liquidy. right? The solid bits, it's all of us, but we're still the soup. Now let's imagine that someone puts that soup under a gas cooker. It heats the soup up. And as it heats the soup up, it heats us up. That's what we're all going through. Over and above your own personal life, there is this bigger shift going on, much, much bigger shift. So, how does that impact us? Well, the first, you will find that even now, the sun's rays are quite penetrating. They're white. They're no longer yellow and or orange sun. They're white now, and they're especially in the morning, around 11, 12 o'clock, they are really quite impactful on your eyes. There is reports now coming that tomatoes that are being grown earlier on in the season in different parts of the world appear to be cooked from the inside, which will then affect harvest. Why? Because the sun is changed. Things are changing, which is going to force humanity into a new way of looking at ourselves. And where does it begin? It begins with ourselves. So, in this shift, in this change, things are one, it can quite suddenly feel like you have no energy to do nothing. It's like just draining. And that draining is almost unbearable. Nothing's wrong with you. It comes in waves. So what do we do about it? We slow down. We slow down. Nothing's wrong with you. You slow down. Don't get into the paranoia. Why is this happening to me? It's happening because these things are taking place. And it won't be just you. You'll find it around you. Feeling this feeling of feeling very drained, but also expecting reactivity everywhere. People are on edge. People are on edge. Not everyone has this education. Why do I do this? Why have I been doing this? To prevent post transformational trauma. Been saying the same thing for the past 5 years. Post transformational trauma. When you're going through a trauma, which all of us are in different ways, all of us are, it is important to maintain some level of sense of groundedness, solidity, sense of space, which allows you to go through it. It's only when you look back and you will realize the impact it's had on those that didn't take care. And this is the only reason we give this, is to ensure, and we've been doing this before, in fact, before COVID began, because had an insight of where things are going. And we're doing the same now. And letting individuals recognize that, look, health is a key now. Volatility is out there because people are anxious. Nothing's wrong with them. They can't, not everyone can handle the living crisis that they're going through, the increased costs of living, the uncertainty of work, the geopolitical nonsense going on. Yeah, everyone, sort of showing their little egos. All of this stuff is distracted. It pulls you away in the narrative. You watch the news, you listen to some of this stuff, you will find you won't be thinking about anything else apart from that. You're not fighting in Ukraine. You're not in Gaza. We have to see where we are and what we can do for ourselves. Not in a selfish way, but in a way of restoring our health and balance. So volatility is one thing. Unpredictability and reactivity from others is the other thing. Hitting us hard in terms of our head, sudden headaches, feeling dizziness, vertigo. Vertigo may be a pronounced thing amongst some. Why? Because we're unbalanced. So things that can help us. Begin with meditation. First thing, begin with meditation. Okay. Now, with meditation, it doesn't mean we don't think about the past, we don't think about the future. No. If the mind keeps taking you back, so you're trying to do your meditation, and you find you keep going to a particular thought or a particular memory or something's dragging you, and you bring yourself out because it may be upsetting to you or it may be something you don't want to think about. If this happens frequently, give yourself permission. Set up a timer for 5 minutes, allow the mind to go where it wants to go, and then gently bring it back because it's trying to tell you something. It's trying to tell us something, right? So we begin to recognize that meditation isn't just all the time being in the present moment. Your grounding is in your present moment. Coming to your breath, come to the present moment. But we know we can fish around. We can go around, but we can come back. The problem is no one knows how to come back, or they don't know why they should come back. So we get lost in these things. When you're in the past, recognize I'm in the past. Nothing wrong with it. Here, give myself 5 minutes to remember the good old days I had at my university. It's all right. And I can plan for the future. So while present moment is the key to our meditation, it also is the freedom from which we can look at both sides, past, future, both sides, because we're grounded. Yeah. So meditations with the mind, at least once a day, minimum once a day, and if better, better twice a day, once in the morning, once in the evening. Twice a day is much better. And if you can synchronize yourself with the day rise, allow yourself to synchronize yourself with an early morning rise. Allow that energy of the day to pick you up. You will find that that might be helpful. If you get up in the middle of the night and you can't sleep, don't fight. Sit up. Read something. Don't look at your phone. Wake up in the morning. Don't look at your phone for at least 20 minutes. At least 20 minutes. Or switch on the TV or listen to the radio. And do not wake up with an alarm that traumatizes you. Like there's a fire brigade going on. No, make it gentle. Because you wake up in that startled space. And that your brain reactivity, your brain pattern goes into something called beta waves, which is where you feel stressed. And then the whole day is like that. Yeah. So how do you take care of yourself? Early morning, if you get up, meditation is always a useful thing. Snap out of it. Try not to look at your phone if you can. The blue light messes things up. The blue light messes things up, right? There are many ways to infect people. Light is one of them. So the blue light does that. And so therefore avoid it if you can in the mornings anyway. So that's your mental health space, meditation, etc. The next thing is if you can, is a little bit of movement. And what do we mean by that? Slow movement. Yeah, a bit of yoga, a bit of qigong, a bit of tai chi. Move yourself slowly. 5 minutes is enough to begin with. Yeah, there's plenty of stuff on YouTube. Yeah, find something for 5-10 minutes, do it. And if you want to get into it, certainly come to the center as well. So that takes care of your movement. Move your arms, move your fingers. Yeah, don't just sit there. And movements have to be slow and coordinated. Mind and body become aligned. Very, very important. And then the third bit is your emotional health. Your emotional health will only begin once your meditation's in place properly. Why? Because your meditation will show you how you treat yourself. How you treat yourself, how you talk to yourself, what your self-image is, what you think of yourself, what you hide from yourself. All of that stuff, we just see it for what it is. Doesn't make you a good person or a bad person. It's immaterial. But we're not wrapped up in it. Out of this arises emotions. Um, Oxytocin, organic. It's organic. It comes out of your heart. Yeah, it's the heart opening. It doesn't come from your heart, but it's a heart opening. Through that, the change in your blood shows a capacity which can be measured as self-compassion. So meditation, movement, and through meditation, the compassion arises. And then another thing that can really help with our health, with our compassion, buy a plant that you don't really care about, but look after it every day. Yeah. Why? Because just the act of caring can add a level of compassionate health to us. And then your final one, and this is really the important bit, because all of this shift that we are going through is bringing humanity to its senses. Do you know what the word human comes from? The word human comes from the word humus, not hummus, humus, right? Not the Greek stuff made out of chickpeas. No, and humus is Latin for earth. And human is the earth that has a mind. Human. The earth that has a mind. Yeah? Which is what human beings are, which is why we're so remarkable. So in this remarkable life that we have, how do you show reverence? How do you show reverence? And who do you show reverence to? Do you pray? Do you go to God? Do you go to church? I mean, the Pope died the other day. I'm sorry for people who have connections with that. But what does it mean? What does all that mean to you? The only sacred thing there is you. And if you don't look after yourself, there's no point in praying to anything. So how do we do that? We give reverence to ourselves by taking time out for ourselves, by being still for 5 minutes, by recognizing you. Maybe I'll show you that in the meditation today. Look, as much as we'd like to think we're in control, unfortunately, you and me and everything else that exists is trapped, embodied in this moment now. The breaths that you're taking ain't yours. It's not, it's independent of you. The body that is being created and destroyed every second is doing it by itself, independent of you. The blood that's flowing in you is independent of you. The digestion is independent of you. So which part of this is yours? And this realization can help us in 2 ways. One, we know we're here because we need to be here. 2, we know that that which enabled this manifestation to take place is also looking after it. Trust emerges from the 4th dimension of health, transpersonal health, when you begin to take time out. Why? Because when you visit that moment in meditation, you will discover that there is a trust that always resides in that stillness, in that silence. I think I've gone on for a while today.
No, it was needed.
Yeah.
Definitely was needed.
Okay, sorry about that, but hey, that's just the way it is, right? Okay, so let's do our meditation. Okay, so usual, back is straight and upright. Shoulders, you pull back. Eyes are gently closed. And if you just tuck your chin in slightly, right? And now when you breathe in, you want to bring your focus to yourself as best as you can. And as you bring this focus to yourself, it's the body in particular we want to look at. So we want to notice how we are sitting, what the posture's like. Is there any discomfort in the body at the moment? And if there is, you can change your posture. Okay? When you feel that you are in a settled posture, you set the intention. Your intention is to become present. And the way you're going to do this is by focusing on things that are happening right now. So the first thing that's happening right now is to do with your body, sensations in the body itself. So imagine there's a hula hoop above your head. As this hoop comes down, it begins to scan your body for sensations all the way down. All the way down. And then on your next breath in, you're going to again bring your focus to your body as best as you can. And you're going to notice if there's a pain, a tightness, an itch, an ache, anything that's dominant in the body right now. So just a quick body scan. On your next breath in, you're going to bring your focus to yourself, to your inner space. And just take a moment to notice where you are within yourself today, right this moment. Is there sadness? Is there anxiety? Is there frustration? How do you feel within yourself right now? And now, if you gently take your focus to the chair that you're sitting on or the floor, and I want you to notice how solid it is beneath you, and that the ground beneath you holds your chair in place. So allow yourself to be located. Next, becoming aware of your environment, the space that holds you, and what that space right this moment, the same moment, shares with you. Notice the warmth that holds you. And then gently bringing your focus beneath your nose. And as your breath moves in, notice how it breathes by itself. And just hold your focus beneath your nose. Allow the breath to breathe, but begin to notice that it's independent of you. Now bringing your focus back to the seat you're on. Notice there are sensations where your seat makes contact with your body. So bring your focus to those sensations. From those sensations, you move up towards your hips. From your hips, you move down your thighs towards your knees. And then from your knees, gently scanning the back of your legs. scanning the front of your legs, coming to your ankles. Notice your feet, and then moving to the soles of your feet, holding your focus there as best as you can. Next breath in, bring your focus back to the seat you're on. Again, notice the sensations where your body makes contact, and also notice how well you're held in place. In other words, you can afford to soften a bit, relax a little bit, let go a bit. And that your back is straight, it's upright. And then very gently you bring your focus from your lower back to the middle back. Again, scanning your back for sensations. Remember, that's what you're doing. From your middle back, you move up to the shoulder blades. Notice your shoulders. See if you can soften them a bit. And then from your shoulders, gently moving your focus to your elbows. We're doing a gentle body scan, allowing our awareness to scan the body as best as it can. From your elbows to your wrists. Notice the palms of your hands. And now notice the fingers of your hands. Next breath in, bring your focus towards your eyes. And begin to notice what you have awareness of. Is it darkness? Colors? Thoughts? The back of your eyelids? Recognize the awareness. And this awareness cannot be switched off. While everything else changes, it remains the same for all of us. And then as you breathe out, you allow your eyes to soften. Next breath in, coming towards your lips. Scanning your upper lip. Scanning your lower lip. And then gently move your focus within your mouth. Notice the sensations within your mouth. Roof of your mouth. Inside cheeks. Notice your tongue. Allow it to soften. Allow your jaw to soften. And then on your next breath out, you allow your face to soften. And as the breath comes in, we become aware of our body as best as we can. Notice your body. Notice if it's highlighted anything, a pain, an ache, a tightness, an itch. And then gently bring your focus beneath your nose and begin to watch your breath. Your commitment is to hold your focus beneath your breath, beneath your nose, watching your breath as best as you can. And allow the breath to breathe by itself. Stay with your breath. And if you find that your focus has drifted by my voice, distracted by some thoughts, notice the distraction come back to your breath. Stay with your breath, allowing the breath to breathe by itself. Stay with your breath. Stay with your breath. Now, on your next breath in, bring your focus to your inner space. What's on your mind? Where are your thoughts, if any? And how you're feeling. Gently bring your focus to your chest. And now begin to watch the movement of your chest in rhythm with your breath. Stay with your chest. Notice how it moves as the breath moves in and the breath moves out. Notice the subtle changes around your ribs. And now, if you gently move your focus a bit deeper into your chest, right where your heart is. You want to hold your focus there as best as you can, waiting, waiting to find out how you're actually feeling right now, right this moment. Does this moment feel whole to you? Safe, comfortable? Or do you feel unsettled, uncomfortable? Hold your focus at your chest, deep where your heart is. Begin to experience how you're feeling. And then on your next breath out, you open your focus to all the sounds around you. Just begin to listen. Not listening for anything, not looking for any sound, not thinking about any sound, just listening. Not judging, not commenting, allowing any noise to come to you. Gently bring your focus beneath your nose Once again, begin to watch your breath. Begin to follow your breath all the way out. Notice when your out breath finishes. Notice how your breath feels now. Stay with your breath. The longer you stay with your breath, the more likely your body will restore itself. Stay with your breath. Does your breath feel long or does it feel short? And now bring your focus to the sound of your breath if you can. Listening to it as best as you can, allowing yourself to enter the silence. And once again, on your next breath out, gently opening your awareness to all the sounds around you, also the sound of your breath. Simply listening, allowing the bell to take you into the silence. Bring your focus to your experience. If it feels peaceful, focus on the peace. If you feel content, focus on the contentness. being present to your experience. Once again, bring your focus back to your breath. Sitting with your breath, watching the in-breath move, watching the out-breath move. Stay with your breath. Stay with your breath. And now, once again, we expand our focus to include our whole body. Notice how your posture is. Just take a note of what's going on with the body itself. Any discomfort? And then to help us come back to our own self, bring your focus to your chair, becoming aware of the sensations where your body makes contact with your chair or your seat. And then once again, bringing your focus up towards your hips, slowly allowing this awareness to drift down your thighs towards your knees, becoming present to your body as best as you can. And then from your knees, coming down your legs towards your ankles. Notice your feet. And then once again, coming to the soles of your feet. And you want to hang around here for a few moments. Ground yourself a bit. And then once again, moving back to the seat you're on. Notice the back is straight. Shoulders, arms, hands are relaxed. Your eyes are closed, your mouth is closed, and your face is relaxed. Coming back to your breath. And now as you breathe in, you can sense your body. As you breathe out, you can sense your body. Breathing in, you feel calm. Breathing out, you feel calm. Once again, breathing in, you feel, you sense your body. Breathing out, you sense your body. Allow that silence and that peace to come back with you. Knowing you can always return back to this place. When you hear the next bell, use this bell to draw some slow, deep breaths in, and in your own good time, gently opening your eyes.